So can we start with your permission? Okay. So there's no power greater than yoga. Actually speaking, yoga is common platform for all. Here you can think of a cultural synthesis also, because if you go through the Brahma Sutras, then asina sambhavat, achalattum chapeksha. These are the sutras. So, if you go to Gautama's Nyaya philosophy, without samadhi, one cannot reach to the goal. So, almost all the philosophers, whether they are Vedantians, whether they are Nyayikas, Visheshikas, all have accepted that without yoga, the self-realization or this goal cannot be achieved. So we can say that it is a common platform for all. Though it is an independent philosophy also, but all have accepted. This is to be. So yoga is that kind of, it creates that kind of willpower within us, and तभी वो उद्धरेत आत्मना आत्मानम, then only we will be able to liberate ourselves. So, no friend greater than knowledge. This should also be understood properly. There is a small story that the two friends who were passing through the forest, and they saw the bear, and one of them was knowing how to climb the tree. So he climbed the tree, and other one he was not knowing. So but he had a knowledge that when you act like a dead, then bear does not harm you. So in other words, he went in Shavasana, which is very difficult. So the bear snaps, and then he thought that he is dead already. So he went away. The bear went away. Then the friend, they climbed down and said, "What said to you?" Because the bear was snapping in saying something in your ear, So he said that friend like you understand? So friends, if you have knowledge, what kind of knowledge? Which is a practical knowledge. So this is to be understood, and as I said in the beginning, Shruta-Anuman Prajna, the Prajna which you have developed on the basis of inference and the heard knowledge, it cannot help you. Therefore, we have to practice. Only the practical knowledge can help to a certain extent, and that is considered to be the best friend in the world. No enemy other than Ahankara, the same one. No enemy worse than egoism. That in the morning we were discussing. Ahankar vimud atma karta hamiti manyate. And that becomes the main culprit is because you think that you are the best, and whatever your principles are best, your thinking is best, your this is best, your that is best. That is the problem. So therefore, this Ahankar is said to be no one in Yajnavalkya says somewhere, I don't remember this. We used to say, I am suffering because of him, I am suffering because of this, I am suffering because of that. And it is said, Sukhasya dukhasya na kopi data. This, if this thought is in the background, dear friends, really speaking, we will be able to tackle this superficial I easily. Sukhasya dukhasya na kopi data. No one can give you pain or pleasure in this world. Parodadati kabuddhi resha. If you think that you are suffering because of someone, it is kubuddhi, not buddhi. Aham karomiti vritha vimana. I have done so many things for him and he is not taking care of me now. This is a false notion. No one can do anything for you. No one can harm you. No one can give you any kind of pleasure in this world. Then who is responsible? Swakarma sutram grathita hi loka. Whatever the deeds you have done in the past are responsible for your pain and pleasure. The same idea is conveyed in by Tulsidas ji in his Uttar Ramcharitmanas. Kou na kahu sukh dukh kar data, nij krit karma bhog sab bhrata. Unnecessarily we are creating problems because of our ego, superficial I. And what is this ego? How Patanjali defines this ego? Let us understand, friends. दृक् दर्शन शक्ति और एकात्मकता. दृक् शक्ति and darshan shakti. These two, they are entirely different. One is conscious and the other one is unconscious. How these two can blend together? They do not blend together, dear friends. Drik darshan shakti or ekatmakta, we consider it one. And therefore, there is a problem. This is called asmita. Asmita, I used to say ahankar is gross and asmita is subtle. Drik darshan shakti or ekatmakta. Ekatmakta, we become one. Though we are entirely different. As when you go in front of the mirror, you become one with the reflection which is being reflected through the mirror. You forget yourself. You become one with that. This is what is the problem. So there is a superficial I and there is a real I. So this is superficial I, yes, my principles, whatever the principles, this is my principles are the best one. His principle is not best one. And this creates problem, And this is the culprit actually. Therefore, it is said to be, no one is the enemy in this world. Yesterday, somebody was in the group, we were roaming. So, in the group, he was my enemy. At that point of time, this struck me that no one is enemy in this world. We are enemy of ourselves. This is to be understood properly. Acceptance of Maya as greatest factor has Shankara's monistic Vedanta influence on Gheranda. So, on the basis of this, we can say that Gheranda is also having that kind of influence of Shankaracharya ji. Next. Okay, Nadanusandhan or listening of the internally aroused sound is one of the important feature of Hada Yogic practice. Here we have to pay little attention. Friends, you might be aware that there is a theory in Rig Veda. There is a prime sound which is going on incessantly in and out. And this sound is nothing but Om. Anahat Nad we call it. Unstuck sound. Are you aware of this concept? Why we are reciting this Om time and again? So that when you go on reciting this without recitation, you will be able to hear sometime that sound. This is one aspect. Anat Nad. There are two types of Nad. One is Anahat Nad I was talking about, which is going on incessantly, निरंतर बह रहा है. But our ears are not attuned to listen that sound. That is unfortunate. Therefore, we are preparing ourselves by reciting Om time and again so that we can listen that sound. And dear friends, what happens to you when you listen this sound? It says that thereafter you don't recognize the object on the basis of its name and form. You recognize the object on the basis of its vibrations. That is the beauty. Now you are listening to me at this moment, and whatever is being uttered before you, it is not an ahatanad, it is an ahatanad. It is a struck sound. When two objects they are coming together, they produce sound. Now this is also a ahatanad because air is touching the different parts of the vocal system and producing certain sounds. You are aware of the sound and understanding something. It is a ahatanad. Now here Nadanusandhan in Hada Yogic literature, when you, with the help of various practices, when you take the prana downwards and apana upwards, when these two prana they meet together, they produce certain sounds. And this nad, internally aroused nad, is considered to be Nadanusandhan. This is the fundamental difference we have to understand. Sometime people used to listen that always this bell is ringing in their ear, some of the people they report sometime, always I am listening the sound. It means somewhere or other that is prana and apan. There are 8 types of sounds. If you go through Charandasa or Hadapradipika, there are Aramba Avastha, Ghatavastha, Nishpatti Avastha, and Aramba Avastha, Ghatavastha, Parichya Avastha, and Nishpatti Avastha. 4 stages. When you try to understand that prana is meeting the apana, there are 4 stages on the basis of which you will be able to understand that prana and apana is meeting, and thereafter the different kind of sound. Sometimes you may hear as if the lion is roaring, something like that. But after that slowly, or it is a pakhavat. Sometimes it may be a small bell is ringing. Sometimes it may be नगाड़े को क्या बोलते हैं? It is yes, it's a drum, kind of drum. Or sometimes it is well attuned veena sound that can also be heard. So when it is well attuned veena sound, it means both the prana they are mixed together. That is the beauty. So this Nadanusandhan, in this text, in Hatha Yoga, in Hadapradipika, it is an independent limb of yoga, according to Swatmaram. But here, when you practice this Brahmari Pranayam, in the morning today, we were practicing the Brahmari Pranayam. In the Brahmari Pranayam, you will be able to listen this kind of sound. Nadanusandhan, listening of the internally aroused sound, is the important feature of Hatha Yogic practices. It is in a Girindar. Independently, he is not giving the description of Nadanusandhan, but he has given this description in the Brahmari, under the Brahmari Pranayam. Other texts have discussed Brahmari, but they do not mention Nadanusandhan as its effect. Brahmari Kumbhaka in Hadapradipika. Even if Brahmari is discussed by Swatmanam, but it is not mentioned because it is an independent limb of yoga. Next. Now, we'll give you the little bit of the chapters. There are 7 chapters. So, The first chapter starts with the dialogue between Chandakapali. As I said in the beginning, he is a king and very much interested for the spiritual pursuit, spiritual dimensions. He is a king but wanted to unfold his spiritual dimensions. Therefore, he is asking question to the yogi Girindra. Description of Gati Yoga, 7 limbs of Gati Yoga, each limb contributing particular quality. Say for example, purification you will get through Shat Karma. This is linked with one to the purification through Shat Karma. You will get strength, pranaya, asnen bhaved dridam. This is the sentence in the verse. Dridam means strength through the asanas, steadiness through mudra. You will be able to understand the energy with the help of these mudras. Then composure through pratyahar means you will be calm and composed thereafter. In Patanjali Yoga Sutra, if you correlate this aspect, you can correlate it with Chit Prasadana. How to maintain the calmness and quietness of the mind in a whole day. Now there is a question, maybe in your mind, the calmness and quietness of the mind cannot be maintained continuously in a whole day because the gunas, Sattva, Rajas and Tamas, they are working like a revolving wheel. Sometimes Tamoguna come to the surface, sometimes Rajoguna come to. How this Chit Prasadana can be maintained? This cannot be maintained, but this can be maintained. It depends upon the mindset of the person. People used to say there are two urges in the world, two desires, two urges of him. These are said to be the driving forces, earth or calm. These are said to be the two forces. Dear friends, if we sublime these forces, we can change our mindset. There will be, if you are thinking, how this Bhagavad Gita says, Dhyayato Vishyan Punsa Sangateshu Upajayate. Or everyone knows, Sangat Sanjayate Kama. When your desire is not fulfilled, what happens to you? Krodha Vijayate. And Krodhat Bhakti Sammoha. It is a kind of Krodha hypnotized you. There is no Viveka at all. Samoha Smriti Vibhrama. So, friends, this is how it is a matter of mindset. If we change our mindset, if we think of a particular thing, and if that becomes your passion, if you wanted to unfold your spiritual dimension, then you will work accordingly. Your body, mind, other emotions, everything will remain in a calm and composed. They will never disturb. They disturb you because of these reasons. When we run towards the object, wanted to enjoy that particular object. So, Patanjali says, when you are behaving in the outer world, what you have to do? Whenever you see a person who is happy, automatically, it is a tendency of human being, you develop a jealousy towards him or her. So what you have to do, he says, just feel friendly. Maitri, Karuna, Mudita, Upeksha. Sukh Dukh Punya Punya Vishyanam Bhavanata Chitta Prasadanam. This is the definition. If you find a person who is suffering, you know he is suffering because of his own deeds. But if he is come in contact with you, I would say, here I would extend this point. Suppose you are practicing tree posture. Are we practicing? Today morning we have practice the tree posture. This, when we take one foot to the this thigh, this resembles the shape of a tree, and therefore it is called Vrikshasana. What are the characteristics of a tree? That is we should give thought to it. If in the summer season, when there is too much heat, outside, you automatically run under the tree. For what? For little solace, isn't it? So, if someone comes to you, and if he is not getting little solace from you, then what is the use of practicing this Vrikshasana? Now, the tree, when it bears the fruits, what happens to the branches of the tree? They come down. When we become a big shot, director or prime minister, if we do not follow this humbleness in our life, what is the use of practicing this Vrikshasana? Each and every part of the tree is used by others. He is not taking its own fruits. He is not eating its own fruits. Human being is considered to be the best creation of this universe, But I am living for me and for myself. I don't consider. If we are not, how the mindset can be changed, dear friends? So long this is me and this is mine and this is not mine. This is one kind of mindset, The whole energy is being wasted in this boundary, of me and mine. And boundary every day, boundary is increased. This inflammation of ego, Because this ego has two hands. One is attraction and another one is aversion. The object which gives me pleasure, I am attached to it. And the object which creates problem in my pleasure, that object becomes the object of hatred for me. Do you understand what I am talking about? Friends, Patanjali says, see, this mindset can be changed, and if you apply this formula in day-to-day life, mindset can be changed. How? If you find a person who is happy, feel friendly. If the person is suffering, if you are unable to give food, grain or cloth or this or that to him or her, just pray for him or her. You should feel pity towards him, or you should have that kind of compassion, When Mother Teresa started this seva, whether she started for the sake of Nobel Prize, she started only for the sake of service. Her mindset was to serve the people, nothing else. So that kind, then mudita, if someone is extraordinary, there are people who have earned, I was viewing one program, Little Champ, you might have observed, Little Champ. And 5 years old child from Indore, if you sing anything, immediately he will make the sargam, because he is extraordinary. If you find such people, they have earned, they have earned this, So we should be glad to know such people, and we should get that kind of inspiration from such people, motivation from such people. And then fourth one is the indifference, upeksha. But I don't explain this as indifferent. If someone, it is in the commentaries it is said that if someone is teasing all the time to someone, always teasing, you should be indifferent from such people. But I used to say, you should learn to forgive such people. If you forgive, you will be happy. Otherwise, he will occupy your whole consciousness, Therefore, when Jesus was to be crucified, at that point of time, at the last he said, let me pray. And what he prayed, Forgive them. They know not what they are doing. So such people, they are to be forgiven. And forgive वही कर सकता है जिसका हृदय बड़ा होता है, जिसको एक माइंड सेट होता है, जागृति होती है. So there are certain, if you go through the 33 Sutra to 39 Sutra of the Patanjali Yoga Sutra of the first chapter, these are the 7 methods given by Patanjali, that whenever, because of the previous samskaras, your mindset can be disturbed. How to make it, how to set right, he has given us a certain procedures with the help of, say for example, he has given one procedure, Swapna Nidra Jnana Lambanam Ba. Ba, when here the Ba is used as a alternative. If this method is not suitable to your temperament, so other method you can have. Swapna Nidra. Suppose in the temple, in the night, you visited the temple. In the morning I went in the temple, So sometime this samskara may come to the surface when I am not in Kochi. So if my Chit Prasadna is bit disturbed, mindset is disturbed, then I may remember this temple, this whatever is in the dream I have seen. If I remember, if I reminded myself, then I will be able to set right my mindset, my Chit Prasadna. This is also one of the methods. Vitarag Vishyam Bachittam. You may think of Swami Chinmayanand Ji, you may think of Shankaracharya Ji, or whatever is suitable to your temperament. Vitaragi, you have to concentrate, contemplate upon that kind of Purusha who is totally Vitaragi Purusha. And if you remember, I used to remember my master, he was a Hadyogi, Yogi, Nath Yogi. Let me share, it comes, it is forcefully it has come, so it should be shared with you. We were having only one room at my native place during that time. And we were not having chair. So I brought the chair from my neighbors and kept the chair in the center where all our family members were sitting by the side. Only one room we were having. Then the चिड़िया, चिड़िया birds, उसने बच्चे दिए थे, and she was coming by taking some food, for her children. So उनको ऐसा खिला रही थी वो, तो वो बहुत शोर मचा रहे थे. They were making noise. So what I did, something like this. I did this. Then he said, you think, he said in Hindi, तुम समझते हो ये तुम्हारा घर है और ये चिड़ियां समझती हैं ये हमारा घर है. He said, they think that it is their home and you think that it is your home. So friends, it depends upon the mindset. Unless we have that kind of mindset, sadhana cannot be carried out. So first and foremost is, with the help of this asana, pranayama and other things, you are going to set your mindset. You have to tackle your emotion, thoughts, everything, And that is what is baking this ghata. That is what is पकाना है इसको. How many days you keep these bricks in the heat, How many days? Likewise, we have to prepare ourselves. So that kind of mindset is needed. So, steadiness through mudra, composure through pratyahar, lightness through the pranayam. Lightness through the pranayam. See, here again, Patanjali says, Tata kshiyate prakasha varanam. Avaran. Avaran means covering, veiling capacity. Only your tamoguna veils your consciousness. With the help of this example, when sun is veiled, have you heard about the Jaidrath Bad? Are you aware of the Jaidrath Bad? So, Lord Krishna put his chakra in front of the sun, and there was a darkness. And the Arjuna has taken a bow, before sunset I will kill, otherwise I will be, and he was staying on the pyre, वो चिता पे खड़ा हो गया था जाके. And Jadarath came in front with a view to see that how Arjuna is going to burn himself. And immediately Lord Krishna took the side, this chakra, and on the pyre he was standing on the chita, and उसी पे खड़े होकर के उसने उसको मार दिया. So when black clouds covers the sun, there is a darkness. Similarly, our consciousness is veiled by the tamoguna. That is what, when this removes, when hawa comes, air comes, and it removes the covering of the sun, and there is a light. Similarly, and whenever there is a light, you are laghu prakashakam. What is the characteristics of the sattva? It is laghu. Laghu means halka. Halka means light in weight. It is always light in weight. So when coverings are removed, you become light in weight. So sattva, there is no rajas and there is no tamas. 0 degree. They cannot, sattva cannot stay without other. Otherwise there will be no niruddha state. So, realization of self through dhyana. You will get the glimpses, and then liberation through samadhi. Description of Shat Karma and its sub-varieties. In all, there are 21 types of cleansing processes described by Gerinda. It is the only manual available to us with regard to Shat Kriya. Second chapter deals with the description of asanas. Now, if you go through the various texts, not recently, in 3-4 years back, one book was edited by me and my colleagues. Yoga Pradipika of Jayat Rama. Have you heard the name? Yoga Pradipika. There is one book. We recently, 2-3 years back, we have edited that book. In that book, if you go through the last part, we have given 84 asanas, the structure of different asanas. 84 asanas. If you go through the text, 84 lakh spaces are there, 84 lakh asanas are there, 84 are good for removing the all problems related to the physical body, and 2 asanas are sufficient to unfold the spiritual dimension, Siddhasana and Padmasana. These are the description everywhere available in Hadi Yogic literature. Gerind talks only about the 32 asanas. And if you go through Hadapadipika, it talks only about the 15 asanas. If you go to Chanadas, it is only 2 asanas, Siddhasana and Padmasana. Why these 2 asanas are given too much importance? That is what other asanas Because if you are sitting for a long period of time, so with a view to give this, you have to maintain the flexibility, endurance, this and that, so many things. And therefore, other asanas are useful for maintaining this body. That is what is the purpose. He talks about the 32 asanas. So 15 asanas and 17 additional asanas from Advaita. Third chapter is devoted to the mudras, and wherein you will find 5 dharanas and 5 mahabhutas located at the different points of the body. Now, description of pratyahar, withdrawal of organs from their respective objects, same as we find, it is a common understanding, we have to learn to withdraw. Friends, unless, here the most important part which is to be understood properly is that our behavior is regulated by the natural instincts. Without, so long we are not doing sadhana or practice, our behavior is controlled by the natural instincts. In Hitopadesh, these natural instincts, Vishnu Sharma says, Ahar nidra bhaimethanancha saman etat pasubhi naranam. Dharmo hi tesham adhiko vishesho dharmen hina pasubhi samana. As I was talking that the human being is considered to be the best creation of this universe, but today whatever is going on in the society, it is only because we do not have that regulation upon these 4 instincts. With the help of sadhana, the purpose of sadhana is to develop that kind of control over the natural instinct so that we can regulate. They cannot be stopped, but they can be regulated properly. Food, ahar, nidra is also to be regulated properly. If you are having this sattvic dominance, 6 hours are sufficient for you. 6 hours. I sleep only 5 hours. 6 hours are sufficient for the person who is having some mindset towards this oneness of this universe. The person who is enjoying the Rajoguni, at least 8 to 10 hours need to be 8 to 10 hours. And Tamasic eats and sleeps. Nidra bhai. Abhinivesh klesh. Patanjali says, so rasvahi. It flows in its own way. Because we have experienced this death not only one time, 84 lakhs time, and then only naratvam durlavam loke. What this says? दुर्लभ मानुष जन्म है देना बारंबार तरवर यूं पत्ता जरे बहुरी न लागे दार. There was some saintly person and he saw that some insects, they are eating the apple, Have you heard this story? Stories are always retold, So the master was unable to talk, so he indicated to the disciple, so disciple understood that he wants to take the apple. So he went and took the apple, but before he reached, so he gone. So this Arjuna and Krishna both were going, So Arjuna asks, half dead elephant and thousands insects, eating the elephant, thousands and thousands, ants. So it was a fisherman, not only the saints, but that saint. Have you seen this in Bhagavad also? There's some story that the person takes the birth because this deer, became deer in the other birth, This is a small story. Similarly, this master became the insect, and this fisherman who was catching and Lord Krishna and this Arjuna was going. So Arjuna asked the Lord Krishna, see, he is catching the fish, and so he has to face these consequences, So Lord said, yes, he has to face. Then when they were going in the forest, then see the elephant and the insects. Only the same fisherman took this shape of a form of an elephant, and now the insects. See, this is the result. Something like that. Antamati so gati. So, friends, we have to take care of our natural instincts. If we don't regulate, we cannot be called as human being. There's no difference. When the animal doesn't know that this particular field belongs to my master, whenever he has this, he will go and eat, whatever it may be, whether it is yours or mine. It never differentiates. It doesn't have that ability to differentiate, that knowledge. But dharmo hi tesham, that ability is given to the human being. So this is our responsibility to regulate our instincts, natural. Bhay methanancha, bhay swarasbahi tatharudo abhinivesha. It is not only to the foolish people. Fear of death is not only, or fear of loss is not only to the foolish people, but also to the intellectual, those who do not have the practical knowledge. It is one and the same to all. Therefore, pratyahara concept is to be understood. You cannot withdraw yourself unless you think all these aspects. So we have to think. The different way people have tried to make us understand, in the different manner. Go back. एक पीछे जाइए. Yes, devoted to the Dristina Mudra, total 20. Okay. Fourth. Pratyahar हो गया. Now, the fourth one is this withdrawal. Before the description of pranayam, it talks about the ideal place, ideal time, balanced diet, nari shodhan pranayam, eat 8 varieties of kumbhaka, sahit kumbhaka. These are the very, very important concepts. If you, there is no difference between both the texts. I will put before you immediately the comparison between Hatpradipika and Ghiran Samhita. That will be given you immediately after this. But here you should time, which time, ideal time and ideal place. Now during that period, because only the people were practicing, only those who were in the secluded places, So but nowadays, what kind of place? It should not be uneven. That is what is most important. Means you have to do certain asanas, or if you want to sit for a pranayam for a long time, then it should not be uneven, it should be even place. Okay? Ubad khabad nahi hona chahiye. That is the ideal time. Particularly, Gerend says that this should be started in October, November. Pranayam practice should be started in October, November. Basant Rito is considered to be the best one for the practice of pranayam. In two times he has given, October, November and this time. Yeah, Chaitra. So this is what is considered to be the best time. Balanced diet. This is a concept which is to be digested properly, dear friend. It says Susnigdam Maduraharam Chaturthansh Vivarjita. Susnigdam. The food should be lubricated. Susnigdam. Maduraharam. It should be sweet in taste. In the morning session, I was talking that this is a super bazaar. The yoga scripture is also super bazaar. So here Madurahar, if you give Madurahar to the person who is suffering from diabetes, then it will, what it says, that is to be understood. It talks about the quality of food, it talks about the quantity of food, and your attitude while eating. Three things are emphasized in this aspect of Mitahar, or concept of balanced diet. We call it Mitahara. Susnigdam Maduraharam Chaturthansh Vivarjita. Bhujyate Shiv Samprite Mitahara Suchyate. That is what Gerend says. Bhujyate Sur Sampritya. There is no difference. It is one and the same. So, Susnigdam Maduraharam, this is the quality. It should be fresh, lubricated. Whatever the food today available in the market, it is a junk food. We should avoid this kind of food if we want to do something. Because it should be what to eat and what not to eat, who will decide? How much to eat, who will decide? When to eat? If you are sitting in front of the TV and if you are eating, some horror program is going on in the TV and you become one with that TV program. What kind of effect will be there of this food which you are consuming? Mechanically you are consuming. You do not know what you are eating actually. You do not know the taste of the food even. There is a, you know this Kaun Banega Crorepati? This program was going on, and when one lady, she came to the hot seat, and the first question was, how many teeth you have? So there are 4 options. And lady was confused. She took the helpline, audience support. Pardon? How many teeth you have? So that was the question. And there were 4 options. And she was a bit disturbed, confused. So she took the helpline of audience support. And first question pe usko chhodne padi kursi. On the basis of this we have to know how much we are staying with ourselves. How much we are staying with ourselves. It means we are not giving time to ourselves, So this is what we have to learn. Food which you consume, what intention you have in your mind. Even though in Mahabharata, Ahar Shuddhau Sattu Shuddhi, Ahar Shuddhau This Shuddhi does not mean that you have to cook the food at your place by washing the vegetables, this and that, How you earn your food stuff. This is most important. How you earn your food. Are you earning by hard working or under the table? So this is also a Shuddhi, purity. Ahar, not only the food stuff which you consume, each and every organ has its own ahara. How you are dealing in day-to-day life, 80% energy you are wasting through our eyes. This mindset can be made, dear friends, only when we, right from the morning till you go to sleep, you think over it. Whatever the inputs you are taking in day-to-day life from the outside world, it is also considered to be ahar. Ahar is a broad concept in Indian thought. So, we have to think over it. And therefore, your practice will not be successful unless you maintain that purity with the ahar. It should be lubricated and it should be sweet in taste. Chaturthansh vivarjita. Now you have to divide your hunger into 4 parts. 2 parts you have to fill with the solid food, 1 part with the water, and rest part should be kept empty. Chaturtha ansh vivarjita. 4th part is to be kept empty. The food is being digested only by the prana. If you fill the stomach or if you fill up to the glottis, what will happen to you? That can. So this is what is the concept of. And then bhujyate shiv sampritya or sur sampritya. If you want that the God which is staying in this body should continue, then you have to take care of the food, your other exercise, other aspects. Otherwise, if this body becomes old, then your conscious phenomena leaves this body. Sur sampritya, you are not eating. Ahankar vimud atma bhokta karta manyate. But you are eating for the sake of that God which is residing in this temple in this body. These are the 3 aspects with regard to this balanced diet. Nadi Shuddhi Pranayama. Today morning we were doing just Anulom Vilom Pranayama. In Gheranda Samhita, there are 2 types of, because Gheranda also having the influence of Smriti literature, because he talks about the Sagarbha Pranayam and Agarbha Pranayam. When Gheranda talks about Sagarbha Pranayam, it means along with inhalation you have to recite mantra. While retaining the prana, you have to. In Manu Smriti, when you are inhaling, you have to think of Vishnu, Lord Vishnu. When you are retaining the prana, you have to think of Lord Brahma. And then when you are exhaling, you have to think of Lord Shiva. This is one aspect. Other aspect is you have to recite Gayatri Mantra while inhaling. Oh no, Vyahariti first in the beginning, Bhur Bhuva Swa, then Om Tat Savitur Varenyam, Bhargo Devasya Dhimai Dhiyo Yona Prachodhyat. This is Gayatri Mantra. And then Shiras, Apo Jyoti Rasomritam, Brahma Bhur Bhuva Swarom Asavadityo Brahma. Asau eva Aditya Brahma. This Aditya, sun, is considered to be Brahma, the first expression of the Brahman. This is Shiras. So, when you are practicing pranayam along with mantras, it is called Sagarbha pranayam. When you practice it without mantra, Swatmaram does not talk about any mantra. Patanjali does not talk about any mantra. Patanjali even does not talk about the cosmic energy or primal energy or Jivan Shakti or this. He says, Tasmin Sati Shwas Prashwasyor Gati Vicheda Pranayama. There is a cutoff in inhalation and exhalation. What is the difference? Inhalation and exhalation is going on. It is a natural phenomena. Dear friends, when you add your awareness to your inhalation, your exhalation, it becomes pranayamic breathing. Then only it becomes pranayamic. When you add your awareness, in the morning he was instructing us all that follow my instruction. What he was saying? Follow my instruction. Then he was attracting our awareness towards him. Now raise your leg. And what happens to you when you were raising your leg? Whether you were with you or somewhere else. He was insisting. This is what is the process which is to be followed everywhere in life. So, Nari Shuddhi Pranayam plays a very, very Nirmanu Samanu, that is what is the Shodhan part. It is a purification. You have to develop a kind of strength in the muscles, internal muscles. It plays a very, very important role. In Hatapradipika, Vapu Kashatvam Badane Prasanta, Swar Soštvam, your voice become melodious immediately if you are really a practitioner. That is what he says. 8 varieties of Kumbhakas. Now, other texts, they are talking something else. Surya Vedanam, Ujjayi, Shitakari, Shitali, Tata, etc. etc. It talks about Sahit. First is the Sahit Kumbhaka. Sahit Kumbhaka means what? When you are practicing along with inhalation, now retaining the prana inside with the help of Poolavata and Jalandharvata. It is retaining. This is called, what you call, Kumbhaka. So when Kumbhaka is practiced along with the inhalation and exhalation, if I use the technical term, with Purka and Rechaka, when Kumbhaka is done with Purka and Rechaka, it becomes Purk only when you add your awareness to your inhalation. It becomes Purka. When you add your awareness to the exhalation, it becomes Rechaka. So, Kumbhaka in between. When you practice this Kumbhaka, it is called Sahit Kumbhaka. When you practice it along with inhalation and exhalation. Then, Surya Vedanu Jai Shitri. Now, Kevali Kumbhaka. There is the difference. Kevali. Last one is the Kevali Kumbhaka. Where there is no inhalation, no exhalation, only the Kumbhaka. If you want to equate it, you can equate it with the Patanjali Sutra, Bhaya Abhyantar Vishakshepi Chaturtha. People used to say that Patanjali talks about the 4 types of pranayam. What is that? Bhaya, Abhyantara, Stambha. This is 3. And Bhaya, Abhyantara, Stambha, Chaturtha. This is the 4th one. Bahya, when it goes out. When Abhyantar only it remains in. Stambha, you do not know. It is an automatic stoppage. It happens sometime. If you are a regular practitioner, you can feel it. You can stay days together in that state and you are alive, without food, without water, without anything. Only solar energy can work. This stambha vritti is an automatic stop. You are not aware of it. But in Chaturtha, you are aware. In Kevali, you are aware. Jagruk hai aap. That is what is the Kevali Kumbha. Again they have classified them on the basis of the mantra Sagarbha and without mantra Nigarbha or Agarbha. Kevali is declared to be the best one. That state is to be achieved, where only the Kumbhaka, nothing else. No inhalation, no exhalation. As Patanjali says, there is a stoppage in inhalation and exhalation, automatic. It stops. And when it stops, the mind stops. Chale bate, chalam chittam. So long your mind is moving, your breathing is going on. When you stop the breathing, you can stop the mind. So whenever, friends, you become agitated because of certain emotions, or it happens in day-to-day life, immediately check your breathing. If you want to check the speed of your mind, this is the best way to do the awareness on the breathing. Add your awareness to your breathing, immediately your mind, speed of the mind will be checked. This is the beauty of this process. The sixth is Dhyan has been described in it. Three types of Dhyan described. They are Sthul, Tejo Dhyan and Sukshma Dhyan. Tejo Dhyan means it is on the flame, light. Sthul Dhyan. It is one and the same. As in the morning we were talking about, if you take the concept of or any saintly person or this is called Sthul Dhyan. In the beginning, it is, you can take the support. Your mind cannot be stopped without any support, because it is in the habit. Mind, otherwise mind will be dead, And if mind is dead, we are liberated. That is not the case. In Yoga Vashishta, Valmiki says, Maneva Manushyanam Karanam Bandha Moksho. Man can liberate you and man can bind you. How? Let us understand it. Keep this mind. Mind here means the Antakarna, whole Antakarna. So say, or you may call it Chitta. Chitta is center, the mind, or mind stuff, whatever you want to call it. And here is the body, and here is your true self, or whatever you want to call it. If this mind is connected with this body and the phenomena associated, it will lead you towards the endless pain and misery. Nothing else. The cycle of birth and death will be repeated again and again. If you direct this towards the other side, that could be the reason. Patanjali says, Vritya Panchataya Klishta Aklishta. So, now if I put in a different manner, this Chitta, according to Maharishi Vyasji, if you go through the commentary on the 12th Sutra of the first chapter, he says, Chitta Nadi, Vyasa says, Chitta Nadi उभयतो वाहिनी, बहती पापाय, बहती कल्याणाय. These are the terms, words used by Vyasji Maharaj. So Chit Nadi is Ubhaito Vahini. Generally, this is a Klishta side which gives you pain, which lead you towards the sensory pleasures. This is the Aklishta side, which ultimately will lead you towards the true self. Now, Chit Nadi Ubhaito Vahini. Because of the previous samskaras, the vasanas, the impressions or the traits, it generally flows towards this side only. As we grow, we understand everything, about the universe. Automatically, everything. So when you see a particular stimuli, and that particular sanskar will come to the surface, and the reflection will be there on the body. So automatically it flows towards this direction. That is what is the mechanical life, I used to say. And the purpose of sadhana is, that is what is chitvritti. You cannot stop the functions of the chitta. This is what is the process, that you have to re-channelize this flow towards the other side with the help of certain procedures towards the other side. This is what is chitvritti nirodha. You have to re-channelize, redirect this flow towards the other. So that's what is the mindset. Today our mindset is only on the basis of the previous, and this chitta, this is the unconscious part where karmasha, you can say. Karmasha or storehouse of various subliminal impressions. And because of this, I think I have this kind of slide with me. So if we get time, we'll discuss. So this is what is the purpose of sadhana, dear friends. So dhyan, sthula dhyan, in the beginning you have to take the support of some gross object, and automatically, if you go through the scripture, you will find, and Shrimanji will be agreed with me, because he is also having the background of the scripture, Jap is said to be of three kinds. Everyone knows. Jap, recitation of mantra. Mantra jap, when you recite loudly, Trambakam jajamahe, so it is called Bekhri japa. Vachik japa we call it. And then comes the Upanshu. Upanshu, when your lips are whispering but there is no sound. And thereafter the Mansik japa, mental japa, which is considered to be the best one. So I don't say that these are the types, I say the gradation of japa. In the beginning you start with loudly, then you become exhausted, then only your lips are whispering, then it becomes Mansik japa, which is considered to be the best one. So in the beginning you have to start with the gross dhyan, gross object. Then automatically Vishevati va pravrittirutpanna mansa sthiti namandani, Patanjali says. Vishoka va jyotishmati. There is a sutra, Vishoka va jyotishmati. The flame which is not moving, it is state, not moving because of the air. If you concentrate on this, at the superficial level I am talking, if it is not moving, you will be able to concentrate, contemplate upon this. Vishoka, which is not shoka, which is not agitated. It is stick. It is state. So that is what is the concept in Hatha Yoga, that when this prana and apan they mix together, then you pull it little up, it reaches to the Manipur chakra, and there is a frame, it is in Hatha Pradipika, that this Kundalini Dandhata, as if you hit the snake, it becomes state, So Vayuna Hataha, when this prana and apan, then only this Kundalini becomes state and enters into Sushumna Nadi. That is what is the description given in the Hatha Pradipika as well as in this. But in the beginning, we have to take the support of the Sthula Dhyana, gross subject, then the Tejo Dhyana, then only we will be able to turn into the Sukshma Dhyana. This is what 3 types of Dhyana. 7th limb Samadhi described methods. Attaining Samadhi, these methods are Shambhavi, then Bhramari, Khechari, Yoni Mudra, Bhakti Yoga, Mano Mursha. Mano Mursha is the ultimate yogic consciousness. That is the Mano Mursha. But here I would like to talk with you with regard to this Khechari. Just giving you the example so it will be easy for us to go through the Gheranda Samhita. Khe charti iti khechari. Khe means Akash. Now there is a Chandramandal in the skull somewhere, and always the nectar is oozing from the Chandramandal. This nectar goes to the umbilicus area and the sun consumes that nectar, and therefore there is a aging effect, That is what is the... So with the help of this mudra, when you cut the perineum and this milking the tongue, it becomes longer, then you put this tongue in the nasopharyngeal cavity, Brahma Bibar we call it, Brahmarandra. When you put it in the nasopharyngeal cavity, then you will be able to taste that nectar. If you taste that nectar, that is what is the ultimate. There is no problem. That is also, and therefore Gheranda says that is also Samadhi. That state is also Samadhi according to Gheranda Samhita. So there are so many things, and I think 5 minutes are left. So question answer. Thank you. Go ahead. It is thank you.